Hi guys, today's lesson here is just a continuation of finding slope on a graph. And I just got done going over the steps with you, how to find slope on a graph. So you might want to have these notes that you just got done taking here, and I'm not going to zoom out, just right off to your side. I told you how to find slope on a graph. Now we're going to teach you kind of what you just got done taking notes on here. So have that off to the side, because those are the notes that I will be going over here. All right, just remember other terms for slope, growth factor, rate here. First step, we're going to find the straight line on the graph. So we found our straight line. Step two, we're going to pick 2 points on the line here. And a couple of important hints here about the points that we picked. Notice that we picked both points that were on intersecting lines here, okay? In other words, this point here is not in the middle of a square here, all right? It's right where all the x and the y lines intersect with our line that we're trying to find the slope with here. That's going to be really, really important, and we'll show you why here in a little bit, all right? Now, I next want to find the slope, I want to calculate its rise and run. So in other words, I want to see here what the change is vertically, meaning up and down, divided by what the change is horizontally, or meaning across here, okay? And so I'm going to connect my 2 points now, making a slope triangle. As long as you make a triangle, all right, and as long as you kind of stay along the lines here, all right, you should be in good shape. Here's how I'm going to connect them. I'm going to start down here at this point right here, which is the point -1, -2. And I see now that my rise is going up here. And I'm going to stop right at the point here, -1, 4, because now this is what I'm going to need to go to the right to complete my triangle here. And you can see right there, I have now made my slope triangle. All right. Notice that I stayed right along my lines here, my line for my y values and my line for my x values here to complete my triangle. Now I've got to calculate the rise. And again, think like elevator, think up and down. I want to count what my change is from my point that my pencil's on all the way up to where I stopped and where my pencil's at right now. All right, so I'm going to calculate my rise here. I'm just going to count here how many units here I'm going up here. I'm starting at -2, and I see I'm going up here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My rise is +6. I went from -2 all the way up to 4. I see that that's a change of 6. Okay, that is my rise. My run now, I'm going to now calculate how far it is from -1 to +1. All right, and I see there that that is a change of 2. So my rise is 6 and my run is 2. Now, all I have to do to figure out slope now is calculate the rise, which is 6, divided by the run, which is 2. And if I were to ask you, well, what's 6 divided by 2? You would tell me that that is an answer there of 3. Okay? So, that is how I found my slope there. If you're asking, well, Mr. Alvarado, could I have connected these 2 points, or going on the other side here, could I have done this? What I'm just doing right now, yes, you could have. All right? And notice where I start. If I were to ask you, what is the change here from -1 to +1, you would tell me that that's a change of 2. And if I were to ask you, what's the change from -2 to +4, you would tell me that's a change of 6. And again, I can count the squares here to verify that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I still see that my rise is 6 and my run is 2. All right, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. All right. All right, I want to give you one more example here. if you look at this example, first off, you might notice the difference here. In this example, I know that my line was going up from left to right, so my slope had to be positive, all right? If you look now at this example, if I were to ask you which way is the line going from left to right, so in other words, find the line, if I start here on the left and I look to the right here, which way is that line moving? And you would say it's moving down. Be thinking of what my slope might need to, what value it might have when I'm all done here, okay? All right, again, I'm gonna pick here 2 points on the line, but again, I'm gonna try to pick a point where it intersects with all the other lines here. And I see at the point 0,4, that looks like it's a good place there where it intersects there. Again, I don't wanna get right in the middle of a square here, because then I'm gonna have to estimate and my slope will not be accurate, or as accurate as it should be, all right? I also see another point that's on the line that intersects the X and the Y lines there, the X and the Y values, is the point here 4,1. All right? So now I'm going to make my slope triangle here. Again, I've got to calculate the rise and the run. So now I'm going to make my slope triangle here. And I see here that I've went now, my vertical change, I went from 4 down to 1. All right? And if I were to ask you, well, what would that change be? You would tell me, well, you went down 3. And so you're decreasing by 3, so my change is -3. That's my vertical change. I went down 3 there. Okay, and if I were to ask you now, well, what's the change from 0 to 4, you would tell me that that's a change there of +4. And again, I see that I'm going here from 0 all the way to 4 here for my X value, so that's a change of 4. So again, if I write my rise here, my rise I see now is -3. Again, that was actually I wasn't rising up; I was going down there. Okay, and my run across there was 4. All right, and so now I see that my slope here is -3/4. All right, just depending on how they want you to write it, you can leave it as a fraction, or if you want to write it as a decimal, it then would be -0.75 is my slope there. Okay, all right, guys, that was an example of how to find slope on a graph. Follow those steps, and please come into class with any questions you might have. You'll have more examples in class there to practice. Thank you.